Hello and welcome to this Component.Studio tips and tricks video. I'm Andrew Voigt, and today I want to show you how you can use a box asset or an image as a background for text and have it adjust automatically according to the length of the text. This is an advanced topic that requires knowledge of the set-get functions and the previous y variable. Make sure you're familiar with these concepts before trying this. I already have an example set up in a deck of cards for my prototype of Snow Day the Cold War. Pay attention to these three boxes as I tab through the cards. Note that they adjust according to the text that appears on the card. I want to show you how to make Component.Studio change the size of those text boxes according to the text that appears. We're going to start by looking at the bottom one, my card text asset. We do this with three-step assets. The first is card text position. This is a text asset. The next is card text background. This is a box asset. You could instead also do this with an image asset, and it would work the same. And then lastly, you have a card text asset. The text asset and box asset are obvious why we need them. The tricky part is why we need this additional text asset, card text position. In this asset, we're going to have the same text as we do in the other card text asset, but this one doesn't actually show up at all. I set the color to a transparent color, and it actually is going to appear behind the image or box asset. But having this asset here lets us tell Component.Studio how big to draw the box that's going to be the background for our actual text. Because of the way Component.Studio works, it draws all your assets in order. So normally, this means that anything that appears later in the sequence is going to be drawn on top of something that appears earlier in the sequence. It also means that if we use the set-get function to create a variable later in the process, we cannot reference it in an earlier asset. So because we need to know the length of the text box during this card text background asset, we need to draw a dummy placeholder of the text where we can create that. So looking at the card text position asset, specifically in the Y column, we're going to use the set-get function, and we're going to set the variable text y to be equal to previous y. Now, you could set any static number in here if you'd like, but in this case, I'm lining it up with the bottom of the previous asset, so I'm using previous y as the value. Now, with text y set, and this placeholder asset drawn, we can go to our box asset. Our box asset is going to do a couple things. First of all, we're going to set the y position as get text y, the variable we created in the card text position asset. The fancy thing we're doing here is with the height. For our height, we're going to set it as previous y minus get text y. This formula tells Component.Studio how long that previous text box was, and is going to make this box asset that same size. Now, with the box asset created, we're going to go ahead and draw the text on top of it. This part's straightforward. Again, we're going to set the y to the get text y variable, and leave the height as the default, and place the same card text in this box as you put in the card text position. And with these three assets set up in this way, whatever background you have for your text will automatically adjust to the amount of text in it. You can do this with images or box assets. Thank you for watching this Component.Studio tips and tricks video. If you have any other things you'd like us to show or have something neat that you found out yourself, Go ahead and leave a comment under this video, or leave us a comment in our Component.Studio Facebook group. I'm Andrew Voigt with Component.Studio, helping you make games to be proud of.